Hey everyone, Donna Nelson here. So tonight, in lieu of doing Rooted in Wisdom, a daily dose of Donna, I decided that I would come on and share with you a little bit of my experience and my newfound knowledge in um, now being a certified clinical hypnotherapist. So I've had a few inquiries since I've posted on all of my socials about going this past week and getting certified as a clinical hypnotherapist. So I thought I would come on and share with you a little bit about my experience, why I actually decided to do this particular training, to have this modality in my business, and what all of that means. So I'm really excited to be able to share that with you. So I think I'll start with why I even decided to go and get certified as a hypnotherapist. And this is, so many of the coaches that I coach with and that are my peers, so many of them already have this training, I'll say, in their tool belt, in their kit of ways that they serve and support and help heal or transform or make mindset shifts with their clients. And while I've never worked with a coach or a hypnotherapist directly myself, I see a lot of the nuances of it weaved in so many of the courses and coaches that I've trained with some of the ways they've worked with me. And even so many of the things that I do with my clients touch on some of the um, things within hypnotherapy. And so with the timing of this was really just really good for me. I saw that it was being offered in Philadelphia. I decided to just take the leap because it was something that I wanted to be able to do in person, while so much of the universe right now is still only doing virtual. So since I'm not really that concerned about um, getting COVID, I decided that I was going to go and jump into the live class. And I was so glad that I did. Besides making some amazing connections and meeting just some of the most wonderful people, I now have this new skill set and knowledge that I can share and help transform my clients. And so what I knew about hypnotherapy was that it was neuroscience based. And if you know my work, I'm very much into the evidence based modalities, that particularly in understanding not just the mind, but the brain itself, and how our brain and our heart dictate so much of everything about who we are as people, and how we can grow and be able to create change by understanding our body, and how our mind, body, our emotions, and our energy all work together um, in order to help us create change and understand who we are, how to get to that authentic best version of ourselves, and be able to have more influence and make more impact. And that's who I like to work with, those leaders and those people who want to be able to be more influential themselves, feel more empowered, and be able to make more of an impact in their families, in their workplace, in the community. And hypnotherapy is just another tool to allow me to get at another layer of this human being that I'm working with to help them transform. So it is just going to allow me to be able to make a bigger impact in that way. And I'm not going to be, my plan right now is not to be doing a bunch of hypnotherapy sessions. But I will do some if someone has something that they want very specifically for me to be able to help them with. I would love to be able to do that. But mostly, I'm going to be working it into my group programs and in my one-on-one coaching uh, in that way, just because of limited time and the fact that I like to be able to make the biggest impact as possible when I'm working with people. And so many of the other things that I already do, I know can help do that along with this hypnotherapy. So if you do have something like, I don't know, I'm just making things up now, but like confidence or procrastination, or you're struggling with, a particular idea that you can't shake, or even things like losing weight and stopping smoking. Those are two really big things, and they usually go together. Those are things, the types of things, anything in the self-development area, and particularly smoking, pain, fear, um, weight loss. Those are the types of things that hypnotherapy is really powerful for. And let me tell you why that is, from the science of it, and how and why hypnotherapy is so darn effective. And so it's just working on the subconscious mind. What is the hardest thing for us to create change in? It's our subconscious mind, because it's our subconscious that really operates 99% of our day. All the science that everyone that has done, and reported on this, had telling us that 99% of the things that we do, the things we think, the things we believe, the way we behave on automatic, are things that are coming from our subconscious mind. So where does our subconscious process come from? It comes from mostly the first 7 years of our life, that programming that we got in school, in our religious studies, or in absence of that, from our family, from the community, all of those things that we observed and were exposed to. I'll say the truth is, in utero to age 7, because in utero we're being exposed to the same thing that our mom is. Everything we can hear, we can feel her stress hormones are creating stress within us. And so when children come out, or they're just, we say they've always been nervous, or they've always been anxious, or they've always just been whatever. Very often that could be because of the experience they had in utero, or very early in life. And so that's all subconscious conditioning and patterning, and we can't access that on our own. It requires the brain to get, well, it's two things. One, it's because they're patterns and conditioning that we've been doing so long we don't even notice it, right, for the most part. But we do notice when there's things about us that we would say are dysfunctional, or aspects of ourselves that we don't like and we don't know how to change them, or we've tried but we keep going back and falling into the same patterns again. And part of that is because of those strong neural pathways that have been created by doing those things, but it's also because of beliefs that are so embedded that you don't even know that they're there. So even in the work that I do with my clients using EFT tapping, we're able to get to the root of why a behavior is, where the root of that problem or behavior or thought came from, and be able to shift that energetically, release it from the body, release it from the subconscious mind. And so hypnosis is just another tool to get to the subconscious mind. And to understand how we do that is to understand the brainwave state. So there's really 5 brainwave states. And the first one almost no one talks about, which is gamma, which is a super fast brainwave state. And most of us are not there. There's still even a lot that isn't understood about it. But the ones that most of us, right, experience on a day-to-day basis are what's called beta. And that is the brain state I'm in right now. When our mind is really active and we're thinking and we're doing, that's beta. It's a fast brainwave state. It's what allows us to keep going and thinking and doing, right? So we need, otherwise we would feel really drained and tired and exhausted, which is sometimes the case, and why neurotherapy and neurofeedback and those kinds of things are really important, or taking supplements to keep our energy up and that kind of stuff. Or doing things like jumping up and down to get our energy going, to get those brain waves a boost, right? So that we have the energy to do what it is we need to do through the day. And then the second one is alpha. So alpha is our relaxation state. So it could be the brainwave state when we are in meditation. It's also the brainwave state that they call flow. So it's where you're extremely you're in your zone, right? Your mind is relaxed. It's not busy and chaotic and all over the place. It's never when you're multitasking, right? It's when you are focused and chill. But there's different ranges of alpha. And so I'll say like 14 hertz down to say 7.5 hertz. So it's at the lower end, that slower brainwave state in alpha, that you can get to the subconscious mind. But there is another brainwave even below that, and that's theta. So theta is where you're at your deepest relaxation. So if you're a meditator, or you get into a really super relaxed state, right? Where your mind is not thinking of anything, but yet you're awake and alert. You can hear things, but maybe your body is so chill you can't even move or even talk, right? But you can hear everything that's going on. And if you open your eyes, you'd be alert, right? So that's where that is at theta. And that is the optimal state for getting to the subconscious mind and planting these positive seeds of change that you want when you're in theta state. So hypnosis helps get you to that state of alpha and theta. Some people can get to theta, and it doesn't really matter. But getting to that lower alpha state is where your mind and your body are relaxed enough where you can put these positive statements that you want to create change, to shift the bad patterns or those things that you want to remove. So it might be something like, oh, it's hard to earn money, or I have to work hard to make a lot of money, or I'll never be able to quit smoking, right? Or I'll never get that raise, or I'll never find the right relationship, right? It's the so those are the things. So we want to replace those stories that we tell ourselves, right? So we're able to do that when we get to that relaxed state. And there is another state, it's delta, but that's when you're asleep. At no time during hypnosis will you be asleep. It's not something where you lose consciousness, and at no point do you lose self-control. As I think I was saying, you're awake and alert during the whole time. It's just that your brainwave state is so slow now that your body has relaxed. That's all that's the entire thing right there. I know, because there's stage hypnosis and it looks, crazy, and people are falling out, or, walking around doing crazy things or whatever. And that is hypnosis, but that's not what hypnotherapists do, right? Those are stage hypnosis. It's a special kind of training. And even those people are still aware of what's going on. So they're doing it on their own free will. The beautiful thing about hypnosis is that it really is self-hypnosis. You won't ever do anything that you wouldn't do in a more alert state. Your primitive brain will not allow you to. So you would never have to worry about that anyway. So a hypnotherapist is just a guide to help you get to that relaxed, low brainwave state and then to make the appropriate suggestions to get to the goal or the outcome that you want by saying those positive statements that you can't say to yourself when you're in that state. So, as I said, you hear everything, and you're not going to have any weird feelings or lose any state of consciousness. So, to understand kind of what I was just saying about the brainwave states, is that your mind is like a robot. And this is really the important thing to know and understand about why hypnosis can be so super effective. Because the mind is like a computer in that it accepts whatever you tell it. And the body is like a robot in that it is controlled by the mind. What the mind sees, the body does. I'll give you an example that when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, it kind of reminds me of, I don't know, maybe it's probably not a good example, but I'm going to tell you what it reminded me of. But did you ever, like you're like looking off when you're driving a vehicle, right? And you're looking off to the side of the road at the cows in the pasture or something. I don't know. And then all of a sudden the car just like starts, you hear it go over the center line or run off the side of the road or whatever, right? It's because what your mind focuses on, your body follows. It just does that. And so that's why it's bad to look and follow things on the side of the road, because your car is gonna follow and then you're gonna crash or something. So, but that may not be the best example, but it's what happens. So, but which is also why you may often hear me say the words that you say matter. And there's a couple of reasons why they matter. One, you're instilling negativity into your mind, but the unconscious mind understands mostly symbols, right? So the unconscious doesn't know words, it knows meaning. And so everything that you've learned so far, that's in your subconscious. So let's think of it this way. If I say chocolate chip cookie, did your mind immediately see the words chocolate chip cookie? No, you saw a fucking cookie with chocolate chips in it, right? So that's an example that our mind remembers symbols. And so if you say something like, don't forget to take out the garbage, the mind has just created garbage, right? It's not creating a remember, right? It's not, so it's a negative, so making negative statements is not reinforcing or creating the outcome that you want, which is why words matter. And talking kindly to yourself or to your children or to your spouse or to your coworkers and telling them the outcome that you desire versus the don't or forget or be careful or the right, all of those negative things, the mind is not responding to that. Okay, so the subconscious has a memory that remembers images and symbols, and those symbols and images. So if I say chocolate chip cookies, and one of your favorite memories is having chocolate chip cookies, say maybe at your grandmother's house, right? Then you're creating an image of a chocolate chip cookie, and then your body is like responding to how special that was, right? So now you've got an emotion. So that's a good thing, right? But what happens when we get triggered on bad things? It's the same thing. So as an example, I can't think of an example, but just thinking about maybe, let's say you hear tires squeal, and maybe you were in a car accident, and that sound was something that occurred during the accident. That sound had now created that image in your mind, right? An image, right? That now created another emotion that has you triggered, and maybe you feel a little anxious or a little startled, right? Or if there's a door that slams and you had a bad experience from even childhood, right? Like every time someone got angry, there was a door that slammed. And that triggers you because now you're like, oh my God, somebody must be angry, even though it was just the wind that blew the door closed. So there's these kinds of things are in our subconscious mind, and these are not favorable things. So often these are things that trigger us that we don't want triggering us, and hypnosis is a way to get in there and repattern those mindset beliefs and emotions at the subconscious level. That was probably a long way to go around to say that. So hypnosis does not work for everyone, though. And it doesn't work for everyone because you have to believe that it would work for you. You have to want the change. Again, because you're in control of this. It's your mind. So if in your mind you're saying, I'm not gonna allow this to work, or I don't believe this, then, well, you're right. Because it's your energy. You're already creating the energetic resistance and constriction within your body for it to not work. So there would be no reason, of course, to pay someone, right, or to go to someone to have hypnotherapy to create change that you don't want to create, or you don't believe it is possible for you. So if you don't believe it, or you don't want this to happen, then it's not going to. It's about your intention and you deciding that it's going to work, that you want to change your thoughts, you want to change your beliefs, and you want to change your patterns. And then it will be effective. So I hope that shed a little light for you on how the mind and body work together, why hypnosis is so powerful, and why it can be a really important tool for your healing and your transformation, and why it actually works, because it's so easy to get to the subconscious mind when your body is in that lower brainwave state. So what is the difference? I wanted to say this as well, because somebody had asked, well, it just sounds like the same as meditation. Well, it's not, because the one fundamental difference between meditation, which again, as I said, was getting to that alpha and theta brainwave state where you're very relaxed, right? And you're calm and your mind is not busy active. So that is a meditative brainwave state as well. The difference is that in meditation, your mind is to not be busy or focused or having any input. And I know that there are guided meditations. I do them in my coaching programs. And it really is just to get the body focused and having, in that case, to set an intention to be in the present moment. It really is just a mindfulness activity. It's not really meditation. Because meditation is to be doing nothing, just allowing the mind to empty out, and not listening to something. So hypnosis, though, is, yes, getting to that same brainwave state as meditation, but it's speaking to this subconscious mind. It's making these positive suggestions that is different with hypnosis than with meditation. So we can't speak those to ourselves when we're in a meditative state, because you're so relaxed, right? But you could listen, I guess, get in a meditative state and then play them to your mind and do self-hypnosis. So you could also do that. But it's being mindful of your words, making sure that they're the exact words that match you and that they are positive and reinforcing the outcome that you desire. So if I can serve you in any way, if you would like to have a hypnosis session with me one-on-one, you can DM me. I don't even have anything set up yet for the pay, so I have to do that. I don't have it like a service set up for it even yet, and I'm only going to be making myself available to do a couple a month. So so I'm more than, like I said, I'm more than happy to do it. It'll just be limited because I'm working them into my one-on-one, working it into my one-on-one and my coaching program. So anyway, all right, great. Thank you for hanging out with me. And I will be back tomorrow with my usual Rooted in Wisdom, a daily dose of Donna. Good night, everyone.